Hello, everyone. So excited to have you here. Hi, and welcome to tonight's viewing of Luna Gale by Rebecca Gilman. This is in association with the UK Grad Fringe Festival, which we are so excited to be working with. First off, as a warning, the following play has a graphic descriptions and themes of sexual assault/rape throughout the text, so please be wary of this. My name is Alex Condor, and I have been directing this cast for the past 2.5 to 3 weeks. I first found this play while studying in Chicago with Northwestern University, and I was immediately drawn to the simplicity of the language coupled with the complex emotional storyline. So I'm very ecstatic to be sharing this American play with all of you guys. The UK Grad Fringe Festival is raising money for the festival, which can be accessed by the link in the chat box, which I will send in just a second here. And also, as well as that, we are also raising money for two wonderful organizations, Black Lives Matter and Industry Minds. So if you are able to give in any way to those two places, please keep them in mind. I'd like to thank the cast, first off, for being so incredibly wonderful, talented, and easy to work with. Thank you guys for all your hard work. I really do appreciate it. I'd also like to thank the 2016 Cherubs program for allowing me to find this wonderful play and be able to and know the depths of it. So I appreciate them very much. Thank you to Liam and Alice for putting all these wonderful showcase opportunities for us graduates out there and allowing us to take hold of them. So thank you guys so much for that. And of course, thank you very much to Mom and Dad. Now, without further ado, here is Rebecca Gilman's Luna Gale, performed by 2020 grads. Act 1, Scene 1. A small waiting room at a hospital. 6 or 8 chairs, the type that are attached by a rod and bolted to the floor. Hospital colors, a fake plant, a framed, faded poster of a lighthouse. Carly and Peter, both 19, sit in the chairs upstage. Peter is dressed in cargo shorts and a t-shirt. He is slumped forward in his chair, asleep or semi-conscious. All of his fingers have band-aids wrapped around the tips. Carly, jeans, tank top, tattoos, pink or blue highlights in her hair, and black nail polish, is very upright. On the floor next to her is her giant bag. It is open at the top. One move and everything will tumble out of it. Carly is eating a piece of cheesecake from a clear plastic takeout container. While she eats, and throughout, her knee jerks up and down with an insane, nervous energy. Suddenly, as she is distracted, she sees a bag of Skittles in her open bag.
You want some Skittles? Yo, Skittles. Dude, come on, you should eat. You'll feel better, dude, eat.
Barely opening his eyes, he takes the handful of Skittles and shoves them in his mouth.
Chew. Chew! Don't, if you fucking choke to death. Thank you. Ah, what's the fucking deal? We've been here 3 hours. Emergency room. Emergency room. Hello?
She sees the keypad.
What if, like,
She starts punching the keys.
beep, 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 boop, beep, boop, beep. Open up. Open up! Does anybody even work here? What? No, I'm still in the fucking emergency room. Because I have it written down on a piece of paper at home, but I'm in the emergency room at the hospital. Can you comprehend that? 3 hours! They just left us sitting in this goddamn room that's supposedly the expediting room. Like, this was the room where things would happen, but we're just fucking sitting here, and nobody will tell us what's happening! I don't have his fucking number. Because I didn't program it into my phone because I never fucking want to call him again, because the last time I saw him was at the Come and Go, and he was microwaving a burrito, and I didn't even want anything. I just asked him what's up, and he was like, don't even talk to me if you don't have the cash. So I sneezed on him. I did. I have bad allergies and I had to sneeze, so I just let it fly all over his stupid shirt. Well, then go to his apartment because that's serious. If that's what's happening, that's serious.
Peter, without lifting his head, puts his hand out, palm up. Carly sees and pours him some more Skittles.
You have to take the 52. Catch it at the hub, it only goes one direction from there.
During this, Caroline, 50, enters. She is sensibly dressed for June in Iowa. She carries a patient file. Carly doesn't notice her.
No, I can't remember the stop, but it's the one right where you see the Hy-Vee.
Carly?
I don't know, first floor at the far end.
Carly Quinn.
What is it?
Are you Luna's mother?
Is she okay?
You are Luna's mom.
What's going on?
They're giving her intravenous fluids. She's severely dehydrated.
Is she going to be okay?
Is this Luna's dad?
Yes. Wake up. Wake up!
How long has Luna had diarrhea?
Like 2 days?
You told admitting that it started this morning.
No, like 2 days ago it was loose, but then she had a regular BM yesterday morning, and then I don't know what it was yesterday, but when I got home from work last night, it was loose again. Just shut up.
Loose or watery?
Yeah. Wake up, asshole!
What's his name?
Peter,
What's wrong with him?
nothing. The fucking nurse is here. Wake up. So can we see her?
Not right now.
Why not?
Was somebody eating cheesecake?
Me? I mean, no. It was all they had in the cafeteria.
And Skittles? And Starbursts and Fruit Runts and Sweet Tarts?
What?
That's a lot of sugar.
When can we see her?
What happened to Peter's fingers?
Nothing.
Then why all the Band-Aids?
You're not a nurse, are you?
I'm with the Department of Human Services.
You're a fucking social worker.
Luna's been sick for a while, hasn't she?
Just since Monday.
So, 4 days.
1.
Today's Thursday.
Today's Tuesday.
Today's Thursday. How long have you two been smoking meth? Carly,
I want to see Luna.
I'm afraid you can't right now.
I want to see her.
Can I just get out? Thank you.
Let me in there.
I can't.
Let me in there. I'm her mother.
Carly makes a grab for the door. Caroline steps in front of her. Carly tries to push past her, but Caroline won't have it. She quickly jerks the clipboard up in front of Carly's face, and Carly steps back, more surprised than anything.
What the?
You sit down and I will tell you when you can see your daughter.
You can't do that. You can't do that. You. Oh my God. You are so fucking useless.
Stop it.
Peter. Fuck. Mom?
Scene 2. The kitchen of a modest ranch house, 3 days later. The kitchen is dated but very clean. There is a table covered with a floral tablecloth and surrounded by 4 chairs. This is the hub of the house. There's a pile of mail and a large collection of vitamin and herbal medicine bottles. There's also a Glade candle, which is lit. Cindy, 40, and Caroline stand by the kitchen counter. She is taking an assessment of the house and makes notes on a form. Throughout the scene, she looks about. She might open cabinets and drawers. Now, Caroline studies the kitchen cabinet.
That's a permanent stain. I don't know what that is. I scrubbed it, but it won't come up. But that's clean.
So, what's your work schedule? 7 to 4?
6 to 5 with traffic, but my friend Alyssa runs a daycare out of her house.
Is she licensed?
Yes, ma'am. And she said she can definitely take her.
I have to get her name from you.
I'll write it down.
Just write it here.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't have to call me ma'am.
I'm sorry. I'm so nervous. I've never had my house inspected before.
Put down the number, too, if you know it.
You see all these little things. Once you see one thing that goes bad, then everything starts to look bad.
I don't really care about a mark on the counter. That's not how I decide where to place a baby.
How do you decide?
I look at the big picture.
What if you don't like it?
Then we'd have to place Luna into foster care.
But I can't let you do that.
But it's not up to you, I'm afraid.
But I don't understand why it's even a question. Am I doing something wrong?
Is this a daytime phone? Let me just write a note to myself who this is. Sorry. Daycare provider. Perfect. The big problem, I guess, Cindy, is have you been over to Carly and Peter's place recently?
No?
So you didn't know what kind of a shape it was in?
What kind of shape was it in?
Not good.
They never bought any real furniture, I know.
It was more than a decorating issue.
I hadn't talked to Carly in almost 4 months until she called.
Why not?
We had a falling out and she stopped talking to me.
Over.
She wanted to buy one of those Maya wraps for Luna, and I told her baby suffocate in those things.
That was it?
And I think she and Peter ought to get married. And I didn't jump up and down when she told me she was naming the baby Luna. And I think Peter should get a job. And I have opinions and I say them. And she thinks I don't approve of how she does things.
Do you?
I just want to help her. But she makes it clear in no uncertain terms she's an adult and she doesn't need any help, and I should just butt out and mind my own business.
So that's what you do?
No. I keep calling her, but she never answers the phone, and she never calls back. I tell her just to text me and say, we're okay, but she won't even do that.
Okay.
And she doesn't even care if I'm worried.
Okay.
You have no idea how hard it is.
Well, give me one.
What?
Give me an idea. Why is it hard? Why don't you get along with your daughter, Cindy?
I want to. I love her.
And why are you two always fighting?
We didn't used to until she got to high school. We really got along. But then it was like she walked in the door one day and she was this completely different person. She had been this sweet little girl, and all of a sudden she was this.
And this was about the time she got arrested.
How did you know about that?
I pulled her record. It's sealed though, because she was a juvenile. So I don't know what happened. So if you could tell me.
She was arrested for possession of marijuana. But the judge said if we did counseling, it wouldn't show up on her record. It would be expunged.
How old was she?
15.
Where'd she get it?
From a girl at her school named Caitlin, who was a senior. She fell in with this crowd, and the fun thing to do was to get stoned and run around at the mall. I didn't even know any of it was going on until the police called me.
Why didn't you know?
I was working second shift 4 to midnight. I'm not making excuses, but I had just gotten a divorce.
From Carly's father.
Carly's father died when she was 3.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This other man I met at my church, we were married 3 years, but then
But then,
he was being unfaithful to me. He left me.
that's tough. I'm sorry.
I had to go back to work, but all they could give me was second shift, so Carly was home by herself after school.
What kind of counseling did you get?
It was the counselor at her school, is that what you mean?
I guess. Did it do any good?
I thought it did. At first, she thought Carly was bored in school, so they put her in this gifted and talented program. Then that seemed to make her happy for a while. But then that's where she met Peter, was gifted and talented.
Really?
I didn't know it, but he was living by himself. His mother had gotten a new job down in Tennessee at the satin factory. And so she left him here in an apartment by himself. Carly never told me that. She would say she was going over to her friend's house, but she never said the friend lived by herself. And also she said the friend was a girl named Pam. But it was a party house. And Carly went there every night and she and Peter fell in love, I guess. Or that's what she told me one night when she came home sloppy drunk. I said I didn't care if she was in love with him. If he was getting her drunk, then she couldn't see him anymore. But she didn't care. She laughed at me and went right back to his apartment. Went for weeks. She wouldn't stop laughing at me. If I tried to punish her, she laughed. If I begged her, she laughed. At one point, I said, "You don't even have a conscience, do you?" And she laughed. So finally, I told her as long as she lived in my house, and she said, "Fine, I won't live in your house anymore." And she moved in with him. I called the police to see if she qualified as a runaway, but to bring her home, but she was 18 already, and they said there was nothing they could do.
You never tried counseling again?
She refused to go. Was I supposed to drag her?
And how did you punish her?
I grounded her. Or I tried to ground her. I took away her phone and the TV.
Anything physical?
No. Did she say?
I just have to ask. I'm going to open the refrigerator.
I haven't had any time to go shopping this week.
Was Carly smoking or drinking when she was pregnant?
Maybe before she knew. But when she found out, she called me and I took her to the hospital, to one of the doctors I work with, Dr. K. And he sat her down and he explained about fetal alcohol syndrome. He said, "You can pickle your own brain if you want, but this will pickle your baby's."
Did you know she was smoking meth?
No. If I'd have known, I would have gone over there and just taken Luna. Just taken her.
Okay.
Why would she get messed up in that?
She said she needed it to stay awake at work because Luna was keeping her up all night.
She blamed the baby.
People always have their reasons. You do need to go shopping.
I know.
Cindy takes a school
what-
picture off the refrigerator.
This is what she should look like. So you know. Her hair isn't really black.
How old is she in this?
12. When she was little, she was my best friend.
Cindy puts the picture back on the refrigerator. Caroline picks up a jar of nutritional supplement from the dining room table.
Does this stuff work?
I take it for joint pain.
Huh. So this is what we call kinship care. It's somewhat different to foster care in that you don't have to be licensed as a provider, but we try to give you the same services that a foster parent would have.
So I pass?
Yes. Yeah, you pass.
Oh, thank God. I didn't know. I was so nervous. I'm sorry. I was so nervous.
Good. Now, you'll get the standard support payment.
I don't care about that.
You should, though. And next step is we work up a case plan with Carly and Peter.
What's a case plan?
We spell out what they have to do in terms of rehab and counseling.
My pastor is wonderful. He was our associate pastor when the last pastor retired. He was promoted.
Well, I'm glad to know that, I guess.
I mean, he can counsel Carly. She had you saying?
Oh, yes. But we contract with a counseling service for that. So we'll provide that.
I see.
But you should totally talk to your pastor if that's helpful to you.
I wouldn't be here without my faith. It was 12 years ago last month that I accepted Jesus as my personal savior. Why are you smiling?
Was I smiling?
Is something funny?
No, whenever people say personal savior, I always hear personal trainer for some reason. I don't know why. And I don't know why that would be funny. Way too much caffeine. What were you saying?
Nothing.
It's great that you have your faith to sustain you. That's important in difficult times.
Yes, it is.
I have a booklet. It explains a lot about kinship care.
How long before they decide what should happen?
It's a year-long plan, but that's the outside limit. This is the number for my direct line and my cell phone number. I'm all out of cards. There'll be interim court dates to assess how Carly and Peter are doing. The first one's in a month. At each stage, we make a recommendation to the court, depending on Carly and Peter's progress. Have they made reasonable efforts
Reasonable efforts?
towards reunification? That's the goal.
She can stay with me forever, as long as I'm concerned.
That's great, but reunification is always the goal.
Who makes the decision in the end? About whether or not they should have her back?
The judge makes the final decision.
But you're the one that knows what's going on.
Yes.
So he probably really relies on your recommendation.
Well, yeah.
That's an awesome responsibility.
It is. So, I'll get the paperwork sent over to you. Can you be at the hospital for 4?
Of course.
Great. I'll give you a starter kit with diapers and dry formula, but you'll need a crib.
I still have Carly's in the basement.
Right.
I've done this before.
You have. Okay, then. I look forward to working with you, Cindy.
You know, it may seem funny to you, but I think Jesus is a sort of personal trainer.
I shouldn't have said that. I'm really... I'm up to nearly 90 cases right now. I'm always late for my next appointment.
But you're right. He's always asking us to be our best, to try harder, to keep going in spite of the pain. And there's been a lot of pain.
I'm sorry if I offended you.
No, I loved it. Because Miss Cox, the thing with Jesus is he always gets results.
Scene 3. Caroline's office, a week later. Her office is furnished with standard issue everything. The only personal touch is a healthy potted ivy. There are stacks of files that cannot fit into the filing cabinets. Organized chaos, basically. Carly and Peter sit across from Caroline's desk. This time, it is Carly who is in a funk, slumped down in her chair. Peter is alert, hyper alert. Now he has the jumpy leg.
Do you want me to come and meet you and I can ride the bus back with you?
No.
Then what do you want? I can't read your mind. You have to tell me what you want.
I want my own car.
Well, we don't have a car. So do you want me to come and meet you? Do you want me to come and meet you?
I thought your dad was gonna come give us his truck.
When he buys a new one, he doesn't have the money yet.
He's totally playing you.
Give him his props. He gives a TV and
Used.
he gave me $50 last month. He gave us all that cheese.
Used.
Give him his props. Give my pops his props.
Props to your pops.
Oh, mad props to my pops.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
That's okay.
How did the visit go?
It was great. Hard, but great.
She looks good.
She looks
Okay.
really terrific. We miss her. She was grabbing Carly's finger. They have a connection.
She saw. You're watching us, right? Through that mirror?
Sometimes I am. Sometimes some of my colleagues are. Sometimes nobody is.
Right.
So we've managed to get you set up with a woman named Gina Thorpe for counseling for Mondays at the Behavioral Health Center. Do you know what that is?
We can find it.
The only glitch with your plan is Lynn Street Center is full up. Inpatient and outpatient. So I've had to put you on the waiting list for that. In the meantime, Carly, I've got you placed with a group that meets twice a week in Hillcrest.
What is Lynn Street?
It's rehab.
Right, okay. That's different from counseling.
Yeah, it is. You have to do both. But there's no room in rehab. The best I can do right away is a support group. It meets on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Time?
7. Carly, is that working with your work schedule?
It works.
Can Carly answer me, please?
Yes, fine.
That's only for mothers. It's called Mothers Off Meth, or MOM.
Clever.
Yes. So, Peter, you'll have to join a men's group that meets at the NA, also on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but at the community center.
Just tell us where to be and we will be there.
He taps his fingers on the arm of the chair, super fast. Caroline studies them for a moment.
What's going on here?
What do you mean?
You gave a urine sample when you came in. What's it going to tell me?
It's negative. It's totally negative. It's totally, completely negative. The thing is, have you ever done meth?
No.
If you're not, completely tweaked out, you're crashing. And so she's crashed. Now I'm trying to maintain an alternative mode of not crashing.
With
Amp. Heinrich drink. It's like Red Bull. It's totally legal.
How many have you had?
Today?
Yes.
6. I know it's bad, right?
You're gonna give yourself a heart attack.
I think it's a chance I have to take. It's a thing.
You really only started smoking a month ago, just out of the blue.
And met us so yesterday, right?
All the cool kids are doing Oxycontin.
Well, you're in pretty good shape, considering.
We are?
You still have all your teeth. So, here is the info for your meetings.
Ask about my mother.
What? Now?
What about her?
I guess we didn't want to have. We were wondering. We understand about this whole process.
Yes.
But can Luna stay with somebody else?
Somebody else?
Carly and I really feel really strongly that we don't want Luna living with Carly's mom.
Why?
She's like doing some things we don't approve of. Carly?
Like what?
Carly, please talk to the lady.
What?
Tell her what she said.
I've got like 5 minutes here.
She had her baptized against my explicit wishes not to have her baptized.
And?
Luna's not her daughter. She doesn't get to do that shit to her.
It totally goes against her belief system.
Which is what?
Which is, we don't have one, so don't go putting the mark of Jesus on my daughter's forehead. Thank you.
Look, here's the deal. Your mom's a nurse.
Nurse's assistant.
Maybe you don't share her belief system, but the only other option is I put Luna into foster care.
I would prefer that, please.
I don't think you would. We are so overcrowded. She'd be in a home with like 9 or 10 other kids who may or may not be sociopaths through no fault of their own. Is that really what you want?
Yes.
No, we want her in a good home.
I don't want her with my mom.
Carly, if you don't want your mother baptizing Luna, your only other real option is that you get your shit together and you get her back, okay?
I'm not stupid.
I know you're not stupid. Neither one of you is, but
Are.
what
Neither one of us are.
is?
Really?
Yes,
Huh.
but
It's singular?
yes,
So even though the you is plural.
neither is singular, and that's the subject.
Cool.
I have no idea what I was saying,
Said but.
but also, you called your mom from hospital, so I thought you would want her to take Luna.
You did what? What? Why the fuck did you do that? Carly?
I don't know.
It's like you lived on a Franco or something. She totally has this learned helplessness. You totally identify with their oppressors.
I thought maybe she could be a character witness or something.
She hates you.
You were there. You could have stopped me, dumbass.
Sheep.
If you're through,
I'm sorry. I didn't know what to do. I was so scared. We didn't know she was so sick. She never got sick like that before. We didn't know. It's not like we don't love her. We so totally love her.
Okay. Like when she's asleep and you look at her eyelids and her little eyes are moving under there and you want to know everything she's thinking. Like you want to actually melt with her.
And you're like, you fucking little perfect little fuck.
We're idiots.
We are. But we're not mean or anything. We're not bad. We're stupid, but we're not bad.
Nevertheless, Luna is with your mom until you can get her back. I have to ask you guys to excuse me now. I have to be at court at 2.
I'm sorry we kept you. Let's go.
I'll see you later on this week.
Oh, wait, do we have another appointment?
I have to do another home inspection of your place before the court dates. This one's a drop-in.
Okay.
Why is it called that?
I'm not sure when, but probably Friday.
Okay.
Is it supposed to be a surprise?
Thanks for talking to us and everything.
I'm confused.
It's okay. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
If it's a surprise, why did she tell us? Was she supposed to tell us that?
No.
Scene 4. 2 hours later, a table in the basement break room of the county courthouse. Caroline and Lords, 18, sit across from each other. Caroline has a vending machine cup of coffee. Lords, a can of Diet Coke.
How does it feel?
Kind of weird.
You can just haul off and do anything now.
I know.
I mean, within reason. Anything good. Anything fun, though, too, but not too fun.
I know.
I'm sorry. I want you to know that I think you can do anything you want.
Thank you.
When do you move into your dorm?
August 28th.
And you're okay with Mrs. Del Rosario until then?
Yeah, she said it's no problem as long as I help out with the little kids.
What about breaks?
She said Thanksgiving I can go there, but at Christmas she's going to Mindiano to see her family.
Maybe your roommate will invite you home or something.
Maybe.
We'll see. So, we should set up monthly meetings. But remember, I'm just your advocate now. I'm just here as a resource.
Do you ever stop working?
What?
We're just always on topic.
Yeah, I kind of, maybe.
You know, you're not my caseworker anymore. We should just talk. Like friends.
Really? Like, what should I say?
Like, what do you do for fun?
Oh, well, I have a country house. It was my grandparents' house out in Peralta. They had a farm and I still have about 10 acres. On weekends, I like to go out and garden and bird watch. There's this little stream. So migratory birds come through in the spring, sometimes warblers.
So you're like old. We got like a weekend retired kind of lady.
5 more years and I can take early retirement. Not that I'm counting every single day. So, we have presents.
Seriously?
Yeah.
He reaches into her bag and pulls out a stuffed white teddy bear holding a red satin heart.
Here is your I've aged out of the system teddy bear, complete with attached satin heart.
It's not seriously called that, is it?
No, but we do give them to everybody.
Well, even the guys?
Yeah, I did once, but
Yeah, I bet it really didn't go over.
no.
Cliff, 35, enters. He is in between meetings, running late, but able to be in the moment as well.
Sorry I'm late.
Hey, Mr. Carlson.
Hi, Cliff.
Lords, congratulations are in order. Can I give you a hug?
Sure.
This is okay, right? Now that she's 18.
I don't know. That might make it not okay.
So everything went smoothly?
Smooth as silk.
Yeah, we got a standing ovation from the judge.
Did you?
That was a first for me, just so you know.
When do you start school?
Orientation week starts August 29th.
And how are you getting there?
Mrs. Del Rosario is going to take me.
Terrific. You have to study hard, okay? There's nothing more important than education. Like me, I went back to school for my master's degree, and that's what put me in line to head up our office. And someday I might even become a regional director if I work hard enough. That's my dream, and you have a dream too.
Okay.
Do you know who your roommate is?
No, not yet, but I hope I get somebody good.
My freshman year roommate never did her laundry. She soaked her dirty underwear in a bucket under her bed.
Gross.
She forgot about it once and it started to
Why
smell.
are you telling her this?
I don't know.
I'm sure your roommate will be very clean.
I just really want to find out who it is so I can see what else she's bringing.
Speaking of which, we also got you this.
Thank you.
Open it. There's a gift card.
Lords pulls out a Target gift card.
Thank you.
We figured you'd want to buy some neat stuff for your room.
Neat stuff.
I don't know what they say these days. Some mad props for your crib. Okay, that's definitely not it.
No.
I'm sticking to neat stuff then.
It's for $200.
We all chipped in. Everybody signed the card.
What does it say?
Congratulations, Lords. We're so proud of you. Way to go, girl. Good luck in college. Good luck. Good luck in school. I'm honored to know you.
I am.
Tell everybody thank you.
Hang on, I didn't get to sign it.
I'm sorry, Cliff.
I was probably out of the office. Hand it over.
And what are your hours like at the Quick Trip?
They gave me almost 40 till I leave.
So you'll be able to save up a little.
Yeah, I still want to buy a car.
Yeah? Think about that. You still have to factor in insurance and gas, too.
Yeah, I know. But hey, I could go to Chicago, see my sister,
Can she come here?
I guess.
Maybe that would be better. If she came here first. I'm not telling you what to do. You know, your PAL stipend should kick in on the 1st.
It's okay.
Here.
Lords, you're a name for a place where miracles happen. But the real miracle is you. Gosh.
Wow, Cliff.
See, I'm not a complete Neanderthal.
I'm gonna put it like this,
She tucks the card behind the heart on the bear.
so it looks like he's holding the card.
Maybe the bear.
Caroline.
We all gave it to her. We have a whole, it's a tradition for all our super great, I don't know what to call you. You're not a ward anymore. You're not a client.
It's a miracle.
I guess that's it. You're a miracle. Who also worked really, really hard to get where she is. Let's not forget about that. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Scene 5. Cindy's kitchen, later that night. There is now a stroller and a car seat in the kitchen. Baby bottles are drying on a rack on the counter. A large can of dry formula is next to them. Cindy and Pastor Jay sit at the kitchen table. Pastor Jay is in his late 30s. He is dressed casually in slacks and a polo shirt. Cindy and the pastor each have a cup of coffee in front of them. Pastor Jay is typing notes on a low-end laptop. He's showing Cindy what he's doing on the computer.
I've divided the books up and categorized them by color. So all the historical books are green, for example. So if you want to read the history, you just work your way through. Although, honestly, I'd skip Leviticus. What's this coffee?
Hazelnut.
It's got an almost chocolate aftertaste. Don't be nervous.
I'm not. Miss Cox.
I wish you'd call me Caroline.
Thank you for coming over. I know it's past your work hours.
It was easier for me to do this than to try and find time tomorrow.
This is Pastor J. Lawrence, who I told you about.
Hello.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Cox.
Caroline is really okay.
Caroline, then. Would you like a cup of coffee? Cindy made some really terrific coffee.
No thanks. I can't drink it this late or I won't sleep.
Not a problem for me. I always sleep like a baby. Every night I wake up at 3 a.m. and I start bawling.
So, what was it that you couldn't tell me over the phone?
Oh, well,
Why don't we all sit down? Could Cindy get you something else? Some herbal tea or a caffeine-free soda?
I'm really fine. Thank you. So, what can I do for you?
Down to business. I like that. Well, Caroline, we have a problem, and we wondered if you could help us with it. We think you know that Cindy and Carly have been fighting over this baptism thing.
I didn't baptize Luna.
Then it was a misunderstanding.
It was a blessing ceremony, and I told her that, and she acted like she didn't even know what that was.
We should explain.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Caroline, in our church, we believe you have to be at the age of accountability before you can be baptized. It's the fruition of a conscious choice. It marks the day that you decide for Christ.
Carly decided that she was 10, so she knows we didn't baptize Luna.
But more to the point, Carly said some really unfortunate things to her mom on the phone.
She called me a bitch.
That is unfortunate.
And then she threatened to kidnap Luna.
What?
She said that if I didn't stop taking her to church, that she was going to come over here and take her and run away to Mexico.
Well, that's no good, but I doubt she meant it.
Miss Cox, how well do you know Carly?
Not well?
Well, I do know Carly well. And I love Carly, I do. But she is not a stable young lady.
But isn't that just how she talks when she's mad? Isn't she just kind of 19? I mean, she doesn't even have a car.
So you don't take this threat seriously.
I do. Insofar as, yes, unacceptable behavior. But insofar as an actual threat, I guess I don't. And all I can do right now at 8:20 on a Thursday is wait to ask her tomorrow, which I will absolutely do.
Then, Miss Cox, I want to inform you that I want full custody of Luna. I want to adopt her as soon as possible.
What the heck? Wow.
Are you sure you don't want some tea?
You want to adopt her?
Yes,
Do you know what that means?
It means that Cindy would be able to raise Luna and love her as her own, right?
But for you to adopt, you have to petition for termination of both Carly and Peter's parental rights, which I don't think you really want to do that. What you really want to do, I think, is petition for temporary guardianship.
but that doesn't give me any rights.
It gives you certain rights.
But not if the state rules for reunification.
That's true. How did you know that?
Our attorney told us.
You have an attorney?
One of my parishioners who offered to help us.
He said TPR is the only way to go if I want this to be permanent.
You're using the acronyms now, huh?
It's how he says it.
Right. Well, he also should have told you that it's only been a month since we placed Luna with you, and no judge is going to terminate parental rights so soon.
But he says there's this thing called concurrent planning that while Carly and Peter are working on their case plan, you can also work with us concurrently on a case plan for adoption. That this would not be considered inconsistent because the goals reflect divergent possible outcomes.
Wow.
She said, wow, again.
You've done your research. Here's the thing. We can do that. We often do that. But with kinship care, I only recommend it as a last resort. And most grandparents never want to do that.
Why not?
Because they want their children to get better. Carly is in the beginning stages of her recovery. If Cindy files for TPR, she's saying to Carly that you don't think she even stands a chance, that you don't trust her or have any faith in her.
I don't.
But she's your daughter.
But I don't have faith in Carly or you or me or anybody because I don't have faith in any one person. You can't put your faith in people.
Cindy doesn't indulge in situational thinking.
I don't know what that means.
This world is not real. This world is a vapor.
What Cindy is saying is that the only thing that's real ultimately is the heavenly kingdom of Jesus.
But Luna can't get there unless she's saved. And if she grows up with Carly, she'll never be saved.
Like I've said, we've been dealing with Carly's rebellion for years now. We've seen this pattern. She shapes up for a little bit, but then she always relapses.
She can't resist temptation. She falls back into sin and she deliberately chooses the unrighteous path. And she'll take Luna down that same path. And if Luna doesn't know the righteous path, then I've condemned her. I've lost her too.
That's all right.
The end days are upon us.
The end days?
The signs are here. The wars in the Middle East, all the floods and earthquakes, the gays.
It's all right, Cindy. Let's back up.
But
Cindy, what we want to focus on here is that concurrent permanency plan. What we want to hear is whether Caroline is going to support us in that or not.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to say to you. I mean, the only kind of thinking I can do is situational thinking, because I have to place children in the here and now.
And here we are talking about vapors and eternal kingdoms, when all you're thinking is, what do I tell the judge? Am I right?
Yes.
Then let me speak objectively here. You've got two unemployed drug addicts who almost killed their baby through neglect.
Carly still has her
And
job.
here, go look at Luna's room. See what Cindy can give that child. See the clothes Cindy has bought for her and the toys. The changing table, the rocking chair. Look at Luna's color. Weigh her. See how good she looks. That's what Cindy has done. Not the church. Not God. Go see what Cindy has provided. And then tell me honestly, Caroline, where do you think Luna belongs?
Scene 6. Caroline's office. The following day. Caroline is on her computer. Cliff enters.
You had some cases for me to sign off on?
Yeah, for Monday. That's the Campbell case. I'm asking for a 3-month continuance.
What's the boyfriend situation?
He was remanded back to jail.
Excellent. A 3-month continuance seems right on, and just please note that on the spreadsheet on the server.
Will do.
Hey, what was the deal with the Target gift card?
What Target gift card?
The Lord's. I didn't get to contribute. How much do I owe?
Oh, nothing. Don't worry about it.
I know I haven't known her for as long as you guys, but...
Nobody gave me anything. I bought it myself. So don't worry about it.
You shouldn't do that.
But she's going to show up to her dorm and her roommate's going to have a ton of stuff. And Lord is going to have like one suitcase from a former foster mom.
It's not the Thorpe. It's the fact that you bought it yourself. It's actually a policy. You shouldn't do that.
Her case was closed, though. So it was a gift from me, a private citizen, to a fully emancipated adult. Policy doesn't apply.
Okay, fair enough.
The next one I'm asking for 3 months too. The baby is 6 months old. Parents are meeting plans.
The little bear was cute. Who got her the bear?
We have a whole case of them in the storeroom. Mimi bought them years ago. She thought it'd be cute to give them out whenever the kids turned 18.
Mimi, huh?
Yeah.
Minor child. Luna Gale. Weird name. Is she a vampire baby?
No?
It sounds like it's from one of those books with the sexy vampires.
Yeah. Anyway, baby's in kinship care now, so no rush, I don't think. Standard 3-month continuance is what I'm requesting.
The grandmother's requested a concurrent permanency plan?
She has.
And what's the recommendation there?
I feel like it's premature,
But it's an oath in safety.
but she's only had the baby a month.
What's the harm, though?
The grandmother's instigating it with an eye towards TPR. The mother's in her early stages of recovery, and I feel like this will set her back. If she feels like her own mother thinks she's a lost cause.
Is she a lost cause?
I don't think so. I think she's messed up. I think she and the dad are both basically messed up. But they also seem like they love each other.
Condition of parents' home was deplorable.
That was my first visit, right after we took the baby.
Okay, everyone, looks like we've lost Harry just for a hot second. So if everyone wants to just hold on for, a couple minutes, we'll be just right back with Mr. Sheesby's continuance of the scene. Thanks so much. While we are stopped, I'm just right about to put the link to the Just Giving page for this Grad Fringe Festival. If you have any time or ability to give some money, we would love to point you in that direction. It looks like we've got Harry back, so let's just continue on. I will give them a place to start back over one more time. No worries, everyone. This is live theater. Let's make it happen. Just go back a couple lines, Harry and Daisy. You guys, I'll let you guys take it from there.
The grandmother's instigating it with an eye towards TPR. The mother's in early stages of recovery, and I feel this will set her back if she feels like her own mother thinks she's a lost cause. I don't think so. I think she's messed up. I think she and the dad are both basically messed up. But they also seem like they love each other, and they want to do the right thing by their daughter. My gut feeling is that they're sweet.
Conditions of parents' home was deplorable.
That was my first visit, right after we took the baby.
Dirty dishes piled in the sink, several dead cockroaches also in the sink.
They drowned.
Refrigerator and cabinets empty except for the box and Nutty Buddies. Half a donut and a bag of marshmallows.
There was also some formula and some petty care.
Faded diapers and rotten food in the garbage pail. Bedroom floor obscured by clothes and garbage fetid.
It means stinky.
I know. Were there drugs on the premise?
They weren't actually smoking in the apartment.
They claim.
Hair and blood on the baby tested negative on exposure.
What were they using?
The mother at her workplace, apparently, and the father says he stepped outside onto the balcony.
The unemployed father.
He's a stay-at-home dad. It shows some basic level of concern.
Stepping outside to smoke meth.
As opposed to cooking it on an open hot plate with your toddler 3 feet away and a loaded revolver on the coffee table, which I've seen. It does.
How does the place look now?
I haven't been back. I'm going tonight.
You're cutting it close, aren't you? Court date's on Monday.
Do you want to lighten my caseload?
You know I can't.
Then get off my back.
Recommend the concurrent permanency plan.
It's only been a month.
It's a contingency plan, that's all it is. And if the parents don't get their act together, which they won't, they're math addicts, then when their 6 months is up,
They get a year?
grandmother's there with open arms ready to adopt. That is streamlined. That is efficient. That is the way we should work. What?
I think I may have made a mistake with the grandmother. I think she might be crazy.
Crazy how?
She thinks the world is coming to an end,
Like, how?
like the end days. So she wants to adopt the granddaughter so she can make sure she's saved before the rapture comes.
So she's a Christian.
She's a crazy Christian.
She's an evangelical Christian.
She thinks the world is vapor.
She's smoking meth.
No.
Recommend the plan.
Why can't you just wait and file for TPR when the year is out? No harm done.
Except we're involved for another 6 months with the expense and the oversight that entails.
Spoken like a true
I
bureaucrat.
have a budget I have to make work. But most importantly, I don't think we should let these things drag on forever based on some gut feeling that you have that they're sweet.
My gut feelings are based on 25 years of experience.
I know.
I might have some idea what I'm doing, okay?
Look, I know by all rights you should have my job.
I didn't want your job. I just think it's ridiculous that I have to get your approval on every little decision I make when I've been running my own cases for 25 years.
So this is what happens when an office loses children. You get state-appointed oversight. I don't enjoy it any more than you do.
This office didn't lose any children. Mimi did. And now I'm being punished for something I never even knew was happening.
But you were here.
But Mimi was the boss. She ran the briefings. If she didn't bring up her case, we didn't know it existed.
But there must have been a point when the kids were in the system.
What system? We didn't have the spreadsheet on the server thing.
That I set up in an hour.
I'm explaining to you how it happened. Under Mimi, there was no system. What?
I still think someone should have known, is all.
By someone, you mean me.
She threw files away. She threw whole cases away and nobody noticed.
You don't think I've tried to find them? I'm the one who went to her office. I'm the one who found her fucking...
On her body, I know.
Then I went through her office, her house, her car. The woman kept case notes on Burger King wrappers. There weren't any files. That was shit, piled everywhere like the goddamn teddy bears. She got them on some deal. She thought it would, I don't know, save the children. She was an idiot. And she never talked about her cases with me because I never talked about mine with her. Nobody did. We just ignored her and we did our own work because she was stupid and fat and an idiot who couldn't keep up.
Well, then obviously there was no need for you to keep track on what she was doing.
I have never lost a child.
High standard. There.
Fuck you.
No, I don't appreciate the language. It's offensive. Don't use it anymore. What are you gonna do with this on Monday? What are you going to do?
Recommend the goddamn concurrency plan.
Great, Caroline. Sounds right on.
Scene 7. Carly and Peter's apartment, later that evening. Kitchen, living room combo. It is exactly the sort of apartment one would expect from two 19-year-olds. The couch was salvaged from the trash and is covered with a batik-type throw from Pier 1. An old piano bench serves as a coffee table. The TV sits on a stand of milk crates, and an older model video game console sits on the floor. The video game has been paused on the screen. An umbrella stroller with a stuffed rabbit in it is against one wall. Other baby things are scattered about. Peter, Carly, and Caroline are all standing. Peter wears cheap plastic yellow coverall bottoms from Walmart over a dirty white t-shirt. Carly wears a waitress uniform from Perkins, blue slacks, and a khaki top with the Perkins logo. Not cute. Peter holds a plate of homemade cookies.
You eat one first,
Why?
in case they're stale.
They're fine.
We made them on Tuesday in case you came over on Tuesday because we didn't understand the whole surprise, it's not a surprise thing.
Do you want some coffee? I can make some coffee.
No, thank you. It's good.
It's dry.
It's good. Thank you for this. That was, you baked.
Yeah.
What game are you playing?
Maze Hunter 6.
Is it better than 5?
Tons, actually. We played obsessively.
Peter got a job. He's detasseling.
That's the killer threads.
That's why the band-aids are back in his fingers. Because the corn tears up your fingers? Not because we're smoking again, in case you wondered.
How long does tasseling last? 3 weeks?
Yeah,
You need to find something permanent.
I know. I'm looking.
He has an interview at AutoZone on Wednesday.
AutoZone. Did you guys ever think of going to college? What?
Who's gonna pay for it?
I can't get in anywhere.
There are ways to pay for it. You get in-state tuition, and weren't you both in the gifted and talented program?
Gifted and talented at our school meant instead of taking flower arranging twice, you took flower arranging once and shop.
I took flower arranging twice,
You're such a loser.
but I don't want to take shop. Shop is for tools.
You're both smart though, right?
My mom didn't think so. She wanted me to go to this unaccredited Christian school in the basement of some church, Pathways Christian Academy,
Pathways Christian. Really?
so I could be illiterate, yes. Then I got arrested for smoking weed in the bathroom of the Chick-fil-A, and they wouldn't take me. High five!
Yeah. So we're playing Maze Runner 6 obsessively because, like, our drug treatment right now is to keep our brains distracted by some obsessive activity. And
Don't tell her that.
but we were wondering, is there not something at Lynn Street Center yet?
There's almost 200 people on their waiting list.
Oh, you didn't tell us that.
I didn't want you to think.
Well, we wouldn't get in.
What about the support groups? Are those not helping?
They're helping tons.
Come on, I'm trying to get us help here.
You're not the person to ask,
I am the person to ask
but you're the one who judges us.
and finds you help, which you have to then take as I prescribe it. So, what's the problem with the groups?
Well, my group never talks about drugs.
They don't?
They're all like 40, and all they do is complain about their bitch of an ex-wife, or the bitch of a girlfriend, or the bitch of the unemployment office. We were thinking, instead of Narcotics Anonymous, they ought to be called Misogynist Anonymous.
Okay. And what about mothers off meth?
You mean mom? It's like really helpful and supportive.
Carly,
I'm saying it's like really helpful and supportive because these girls are like my sisters, and like anything we put our minds to, we can do because we're such fantastic ladies. And we never got to have good old-fashioned fun in our lives. So last week we had movie night. We watched The Blind Side.
So, Maze Hunter 6.
yeah,
Yeah.
And what about the counseling?
Gina's okay. I like that she's so young.
Uh-huh.
but she canceled on us twice.
Yeah, I got her email. I'm sorry about that. We used to have more people. They consolidated 2 offices, DHS offices. That's why we're Lynn Benton now. And then budget cuts, and they laid off half the staff, but we still have 2 counties to cover with half the staff. So this is not an excuse. I just want you to know that it's not that I don't want you to get the help, because trust me, I do. But there just isn't any help out there. But as soon as there is, I will get you some.
We weren't, blaming.
We painted Luna's room. You should see it. Carly painted stars on the ceiling with glow-in-the-dark paint. Are you okay?
Your mom wants to keep her.
What?
Your mom is filing for termination of yours and Peter's parental rights, and she wants permanent custody of Luna.
No, 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 no.
She can do that?
Yeah, she can do that, yes.
I told you that fucking psycho.
Okay,
I told you. She never once, not once. From the second I told her, she was like, "You're not gonna be able to take care of this baby."
this is not a done deal.
My whole life, all she ever thought is I'm dirt.
I know, but
She's gonna make Luna me. She's gonna make her be me, Peter.
Take her.
Calm
I
down.
just said it doesn't matter what we do. Nobody cares what you do, even if you do it right.
It's not done.
I'm
No.
drinking fucking vodka.
No, you don't.
You don't have any.
I'm taking her to Mexico.
We don't own a car.
Fucking tell
That's
Hey!
illegal.
Stop saying that. What are you gonna do? Club her to death with a remote? You don't need to prove how upset you are. We get it.
We totally get it.
Let's just dispense with the hysteria and just Talk about what we're gonna do. Come up with a strategy, make a plan.
Listen to the lady who's telling us the thing. And
Why the fuck should I listen to her?
Because I want to help you. We have to make sure Luna's,
Not completely fucked like I was.
given the love she deserves. She's still salvageable. She's still a baby. She doesn't even know anything's happening yet.
Then I can take her to Mexico.
No, you can stop this right now. This is what's gonna sink you right here. Do you understand me? Stop it.
I can't help it.
I know. Oh, God, Peter.
Caroline steps aside. Peter goes to Carly and hugs her.
be cool, dude. Okay? Everything's gonna be okay. Okay? Everything's gonna be okay.
Carly lets him hug her, but she doesn't hug him back. She lets her arms dangle by her side. Caroline watches. Something hits her.
How are you fucked?
What?
You said you didn't want her to get fucked like you. How were you fucked?
Entirely? I'm so confused. What's happening?
Let me think this through. This will work.
What'll work?
I know what to do. I know how to help you. Sit down. Please sit down. Okay, now, tell me what happened when you were 15.
And I was.
You smoked pot. You started acting out. Your mom says it was the divorce, but was that really what started it? Is that really why you started acting out? Because if there was something else, something your mom did or didn't do, something your stepdad did or didn't do, then that would be good.
Right, everyone. That is the end of Act 1. We will be taking a short 10-minute intermission, and we will be returning back at approximately 8:17. Please be back as soon as possible, and grab yourself a refreshment, and we'll be right back. See you in a bit. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Act 2 of Luna Gale by Rebecca Gilman. Can't wait to get this started with you. Let's go ahead and just go into it, shall we? Act 2, Scene 1. 3 months later, the basement break room of the county courthouse. Lords and Caroline are having coffee. Lords looks different. She wears more revealing clothes, has a harder edge. She also has a tattoo of a blue fish under one collarbone that is only half hidden by her blouse. Lords' phone is on the table, face up.
So it's the whole 7th floor of Macy's. And it's mad expensive, but she gets an employee discount. So she bought me lunch. And then I just went shopping for the rest of her shift. And I couldn't really afford anything there. But I went to this store. It was called H&M. And they had really cute stuff for way cheaper. Yeah, that's where I got this.
It's really cute.
It was only like $16.
I'm glad you had fun.
I totally did.
How are the classes?
Yeah, good.
I see you got a tattoo.
I was wondering when you were going to say something.
Well, it's not super visible, and I didn't want you to think I was staring at your boobs.
My sister and her boyfriend, they have tats like everywhere. So we went to their guy. She's got this rose bush and it comes down from like here, and a heart vine here, and then a cat face
Oh, God.
down here. And then Alex, he's got like a solid piece on his back and down both of his arms, and then like a thing on his wrist, like stitches. Like his hand is sewn on like Frankenstein or something.
Did it hurt?
Yeah, it still itches.
Is it infected?
It's just red around the edges, but it's fading.
Why a fish?
It's a symbol of good luck in Chinese.
I did not know that. Maybe I should get one.
No, you're too old.
Oh my God. Thanks a lot.
Not like, skanky, old, just,
They have a shelf life.
yeah.
Swear to God. I'm glad you had fun.
It was weird to see my sister.
Weird? How?
Like, all the little things that I do, she does too. Like, she's always popping her knuckles just like me. And Alex said when we were in the next room, he couldn't even tell which one of us was talking because we sound so much alike. She said she remembers you.
She does?
Said that group home you put her in sucked.
Yeah, it probably did.
So why'd you do that?
I didn't have a choice. You were easy to place because you were little, but there weren't any foster parents who would take Marta because they were scared because of her record. It wasn't her fault, but there was no place else to put her.
Well, she said that home was sick.
Good sick or bad sick?
Both sick. She said you could score anything there, and people were like fucking each other in the closets and shit.
Great.
She told me about all the drugs that she did. It was like,
Great. What about now? Is she still doing stuff?
she likes to have fun.
But you're not into that.
No, I don't like to have fun. We were wondering if you knew where our mom is.
No,
We both think she's probably dead.
I hope not.
We think she died on the street. Martyr said she was a schizophrenic.
She was definitely self-medicating for something.
Well, Martyr said it'd be good to know if she was a schizophrenic, because then we would know if we were going to get it.
What?
She said if it was schizophrenia, then there's a chance we could get it too, like when we're 30 or 28 or something, right?
There's an increased likelihood. I don't know what the percentages are, but there are much better drugs now than they used to be. Even if you get it, you don't have to end up like your mom, okay?
How'd you know if you have it?
I don't know.
You start hearing voices?
Some people start hearing voices. Are you hearing voices?
No,
Are you feeling okay?
I'm totally fine.
When are your midterms?
Next week.
Do you feel prepared, or I can't tell how you're feeling about school?
It's fine.
That's so not an answer.
It's fine. I'm doing fine.
You know, my mom was an alcoholic.
Yeah, you told me that already.
I know, but I think I told you it in the context of I know what it is to have a mom who's not around for you, right?
Yeah, well, at least you know when she died.
Yeah. But the thing is, if you have a parent who's an alcoholic, you have a much higher risk of becoming an alcoholic too. So I think I know the fear you're talking about maybe ending up like your mom too.
Well, you have control over that, though.
Well, not so much. I mean, you do, but you have to be vigilant. Like, I have a friend who's never even touched alcohol because he doesn't want to end up like his dad.
Well, do you drink?
I do, socially. But I have sometimes worried I was drinking too much, and sometimes I've been in places where I was maybe drinking wine at night by myself.
Well, you don't have a husband, right?
I'm divorced. But what I'm saying is, when I've been depressed or anxious or something, there have always been times in my life where I've had a drink by myself. Even now, sometimes I'm driving home at night and I pass by a bar and I think, why not just go in and drink myself into a stupor?
Well, then why don't you?
Because you can't just punt. You have to go to school and learn things and get smarter and get a tattoo of a fish that says you're lucky. Someday you're going to have a nice house and a family or a great career and a dog. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like dogs.
A cat, then. Just don't sell yourself short or close off any options because you think someday something bad might possibly happen, okay?
Yeah, because if I work really hard, I can totally get that cat or whatever.
Whatever you want. It doesn't have to be a cat. Are you expecting a call?
I'm just checking the clock. I gotta go.
Oh. Are you sure you're feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm totally fine. I gotta go to class.
What class?
Econ. It's my favorite class. The professor's really funny. I really feel like I'm learning a lot.
Okay.
I hope you don't go to some bar and get really drunk.
I'm not. That was my point.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Look, I don't know if I can actually make it next month. And, well, it's not like, well, I don't have to be here, right?
Next month?
Or ever. Like, I don't use my PAL stipend or anything, do I? If we stop meeting?
Most people stick with aftercare for at least a couple of years. We don't always have to meet in person. We could do it over the phone.
Great, then maybe I'll just call you after Thanksgiving.
Okay, I guess.
Thanks.
Make me your ice
What?
in case of an emergency on your phone under contacts. Just make me your ice.
Why?
Do you have anybody there?
No, but what? You're just assuming I'm gonna have an emergency?
Just in case is all. Please.
Fine. If it will make you feel better.
It does.
Scene 2. Caroline's office, later that day. Caroline is speaking to Cindy.
This is crazy. She's lying.
So you maintain that it never happened.
Yes.
And this is how you responded at the time.
To what? When?
She said she tried to tell you and you're in complete denial. You wouldn't acknowledge or listen, that it was like you didn't even hear her.
Because she never said anything, because it never happened.
Okay, let's just step back for a second, okay? Take a breath. First of all, I'm not accusing you of anything. I just have to take this seriously.
Why?
Because it's a hugely serious thing as an allegation.
This is unbelievable. She knows the judge wants to give me Luna, so she's pulling out this stupid lie, and you're just buying right into it.
I'm not naive, okay? But honestly, it explains a lot.
Please.
The sudden acting out at 15, the depression, the substance abuse, the early pregnancy. It's kind of textbook, and I just...
Crap.
Cindy.
It is. It's crap.
Don't interrupt me again, Cindy. Please. Just because you don't believe it doesn't mean it didn't happen. And if it did happen and you refuse to believe her, you put Carly in physical and emotional jeopardy. And that's a factor now in your petition for TPR and adoption.
What?
Because you want to adopt Luna, I have to fully investigate this. And I have to draw up a case plan for you. I'm going to set you up with a counselor at the Behavioral Health Center.
I don't even know what you're saying.
Then we'll determine if you should be allowed to continue as Luna's caretaker.
But I'm adopting her.
Cindy, if you looked the other way while your husband was abusing Carly and you refuse to address that, the department's position is that you cannot have custody of Luna. I don't know how much clearer I can make this.
So I have to say that this thing happened. That never happened. And if I don't say it happened, you can take Luna away from me?
You don't have to say anything. You just have to admit that it might have happened, and Carly might be telling the truth.
I have to lie.
No.
The government is going to make me lie.
We just want you to consider that it might have happened. And Carly is not a complete screw up. And maybe she wasn't so much possessed by the devil as she was raped by her stepfather.
You're enjoying this.
I am not enjoying this.
You are. You're enjoying it.
What could possibly be enjoyable about this?
Because you're an anti-Christian bigot.
That is so not true.
You can't get away with it.
With what?
What? I won't meet your hate with hate. I'll meet it with love. I'm going to pray for you.
Scene 3. The Perkins where Carly works. Carly, Peter, and Caroline sit at a table. They are all drinking coffee. Carly is in her uniform, but she looks more normal. She has forgotten the goth eye makeup and is not wearing black fingernail polish anymore. Peter wears khakis and an AutoZone polo shirt. They talk in a weirdly self-conscious way, like they're afraid they're being bugged and want to make sure everything is said correctly, for the record.
You never told the counselor at your school about the abuse?
My mom was at all those sessions with me.
Do you think the counselor would have believed you if you had told her?
She was totally on my mom's side, I thought. She was always telling me to think about how my actions hurt her.
Was there anyone else you could have trusted? You're still pretty active in the church then, right?
So is he. He was a deacon. Everybody thought he was like the perfect fucking Christian.
Language.
Everyone there worshipped him practically. He did adult Bible study. He did Promise Keepers. He did Mrs. Reader when her husband was out of town on a canoe trip.
Now.
Come on.
He did Promise Keepers.
Is that part of the reason you turned your back on your religion? Because in your experience, the people at the church weren't living up to its ideals.
That, and it's a myth about a completely made-up narcissistic asshole.
Language.
Attitude.
Yes, that's why I left the church.
Okay. I love this bottomless cup of coffee.
It's crap coffee.
It's okay if you keep it hot. Now, did you ever tell Peter about your stepdad?
No.
Why not?
I was...
What?
I don't know.
Ashamed?
Sure.
Were you afraid he would reject you if he found out?
Sure. Whatever.
It's really common for victims of sexual abuse to feel that they were responsible for the abuse. Even if you're being abused, sometimes you are still aroused. So if you feel you enjoyed it on any level, it's very common for kids to feel that they were asking for it or somehow deserved it. Or if it happened repeatedly, that they were at fault for not stopping it. So you might have felt like you couldn't even tell Peter.
Was it?
And Peter, did you ever suspect?
I just knew Martin was a dick.
Language.
And I knew Carly was really sad.
How are things at the AutoZone?
You know, it doesn't completely suck. And my dad's a mechanic.
I didn't know that.
He taught me some stuff before, he completely absconded and went to jail. And then he showed up at a door last year with a can of macadamia nuts
His dad buys food at the dollar store.
in La Crosse.
It's still a fucking dollar store.
But he's in another state. I'm just saying, he lives in Wisconsin. He's only been to visit twice. That's why he brings presents.
From the dollar store.
What was your dad in jail for?
Kiting checks.
She wanted to be something worse.
It's lame.
Anyway, my dad's a mechanic, and some of the stuff he told me when I was a wee lad has come back. But mostly the guys at the counter just hand me numbers and I go get shit off the shelves. But I'm hoping to advance.
Good. If there were anything else about Carly that you might want to reveal, it would be helpful.
Like what?
Physical stuff, like, is she shy about being naked in front of you?
She doesn't parade around, but I've definitely seen her business.
When you do show her affection, does she seem relaxed with it? Or does she seem to physically tense up? Like, when you hug her, does she hug you back?
I don't know. It seems fine.
Does she initiate sex?
Yes. Or, I'm sorry. No, right?
Right. Good. You should bring that up with Gina at your next session, okay? We've only got 2 weeks until the next court date, so the more we can get into Gina's report, the better.
Oh.
Look, guys, I know this is hard, but you're doing great. Just stay strong for Luna. Yeah? I gotta get this, sorry. Mrs. Del Rosario, thanks for calling back. Can you hold on a second? You're seeing Luna on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Great, I'll see you then. Hi, sorry about that. I've been trying to reach Lords and I wondered if you'd heard from her.
She's really so high. Your hand's shaking. Let me. Here's something funny I noticed. Is that when the lady's telling us how to talk to Gina about this made up thing with your stepdad, like, it stops feeling made up, kind of, because a lot of what she tells us is actually true about us. Like, have you noticed that?
No?
It's funny though, because when she first asked you what happened to you when you were 15, you were like, nothing, I believed you. And then she suggested that this might have happened, and you said, sure, but not like, sure, it happened, like, sure, I'll go along with that if that's what it takes. So I've been operating under the assumption this whole time that it was made up. But it's kind of uncanny how not made up it feels.
It was only once.
Yeah.
In his car? It was only once. So, it's no big deal.
I think it's the definition of a big deal. How come the lady knew and I didn't?
Who wants to know shit like that? Seriously. Who wants to know?
Scene 4. Caroline's office. She's showing Cliff and Pastor Jay in. She probably has to move some files off some chairs so that they can sit.
I thought you could answer the pastor's questions because I can't, because I don't know anything about this.
Yes, you do. It's minor child, Luna Gale.
But have I seen the new case plan?
No, but it's totally standard. Should I get a chair for Cindy?
She's not here.
She doesn't know I'm here.
Then this feels inappropriate to me.
Fine. Let's just answer the pastor's questions if we can. This alleged abuse happened when?
When Carly was 15.
5 years ago, and the stepfather isn't in the house anymore.
Martin's living in Missouri, last we heard.
Then how is he a threat to Luna?
That's not it. It's that Cindy didn't believe Carly when she told her about the abuse. She put her in physical and emotional jeopardy. And until she deals with her non-offender issues, we can't recommend placing Luna with her, and we have to put on hold the TPR.
I don't see it.
That's a standard case plan.
It's a judgment call. There's no immediate threat.
I'm going by the book, Cliff. Literally, we have a manual. If you want to look at the sexual abuse section, it's the teal tab there. There's nothing explicit in it.
Caroline, do you not like Cindy?
I don't have feelings towards her one way or the other.
You're not down on her because of her faith?
No. Where did that come from?
Cindy says you laughed at her and made some joke about Jesus being a personal trainer?
You did what?
No. I misheard something, was all. It doesn't have anything to do with this. This is standard procedure. Well, I can show you. There are boxes. If this, then that. Like, does non-offending caregiver fully believe that the abuse occurred? If no, then non-offending caregiver has issues that should be addressed. That's the box I checked for Cindy, in my mind, not on paper. Was the non-offending caregiver sexually abused as a child?
Is the non-offending caregiver a crazy Christian?
What's that?
There is not a box for that.
Don't answer that.
It's Lourdes. I need to talk to her.
You can call her back.
She never answers. I've been calling her for ages.
You can wait. Silence it.
What is your faith, Caroline?
That is such an inappropriate question.
I'd be curious to know that too.
Look, I know what you're accusing me of, and all I can say is my personal feelings about Christianity or any other religion do not factor into my decision-making on this or any other case. I work with Christians in churches all the time, Catholic services, Lutherans Children's Network, whatever works. That's my motto. So, gentlemen, if you'll excuse me, I need to get back to work.
Well, since you're not biased, and it is a judgment call, why don't we just say that this isn't a factor in Cindy's plan and she's not required to undergo any treatment?
Terrific.
No,
No?
she has to deal with what she did to her daughter. I'm not giving her Luna so she can screw up another child like she screwed up Carly.
Cindy did all she could for Carly.
Not calling her a crazy Christian.
Why do you keep saying crazy Christian?
I don't know. I heard it once, somewhere, from somebody.
Okay. I do have a bias,
This is unfortunate.
but it's not the one you think. Can I please just explain to you, Pastor? Can I close the door so we can do this in private?
I don't think you need to close the door.
But what I have to say is personal.
She can close the door, can't she?
I'm staying.
I'm not asking you to go. Cindy reminds me of my mom, is the thing.
Your mother was a Christian?
My mother was an alcoholic. I'm going to keep this short. She was a very miserable person. And every night she would drink scotch until she passed out on the couch. My dad went to bed at 9 o'clock because he had to get up 4. He drove a milk truck. But he also got up early so he could come to my room while my mom was on the couch and,
He abused you.
off and on from 7th grade through to high school. I thought at the time my mom didn't give him the love he needed, so he got it from me. But now I know she drank because she knew what was happening and she didn't want to face it.
I'm so sorry, Caroline.
It's tough.
Thank you.
Well, she must have been very lonely. Your mother.
She was.
And you must have felt abandoned.
I did. But I was lucky too. I had a really great teacher in high school who saw, just from how I acted in class, she saw that something was wrong. And she sent me to the school counselor. He was like a gift, actually knew what he was doing. And he got me through graduation and into college. And I didn't become an alcoholic or an abusive parent or anything. I became a social worker. I set out to help kids like me.
Bless you for that.
I'm not perfect, though. When I found out that Carly said she'd been abused, I got really angry. I know what it is to grow up with a mother who doesn't protect you or believe in you. I know how worthless that can make you feel. So I think Cindy should have to face up to what happened. Luna aside, she needs to acknowledge that she hurt Carly. And that's my bias. That's what I have against Cindy.
It's not that she's a crazy Christian.
Would you stop saying that?
Or explain why you're saying it, Cliff.
It's because I said it. Earlier, I said it. But all I meant is, I think Cindy loves Jesus more than she loves her own daughter. The way my mom loved Scotch more than she loved me.
I don't think that's what you meant.
It is. But I didn't want to tell you this thing about me because I don't like telling people about it because it's gross. And I don't know you. Okay? So I said a stupid, inarticulate thing. But that's what I was trying to say. I don't feel like Cindy loves Carly the way she should. And that's all.
But what if, Caroline? What if Cindy has a different kind of love for Carly? Something even stronger than a mother's love. Have you ever thought of that?
No.
It's not that Cindy loves Jesus more than she loves Carly. It's that she wants Carly to feel Jesus' love more than her own. This is hard for anybody to understand who doesn't know that love yet. But when you know it, it's the answer to every problem. Every problem that exists. And when you feel it, you want to share it with the people you love the most. It's the greatest gift you can give them, and if they resist it, it's so frustrating. Cliff knows. Cliff Ministries, he's an ambassador.
What is Cliff an ambassador to?
It's not important.
TGIW.
Thank God it's Wednesday.
Teaching God's infinite wisdom. It's a men's group.
Is that how you two know each other?
The pastor spoke at a conference I attended once. We're not friends.
I consider you a friend.
We're not. Right now, this is professional.
Sure. But Caroline, do you see what I'm saying about Carly and Cindy? I know how Cindy comes across. She's a handful. High-strung and wound tight, as my daddy used to say. But it's only because of how very much she wants Carly to feel Jesus' love. Just like I would like you to be able to feel Jesus' love for you.
You would?
This is a terrible burden you're carrying, a terrible shame around what happened to you as a girl. I could lift it from you if you'd let me try. Would you let me pray with you and for you, Caroline? Would you let me do that? Cliff, what if we both prayed for Caroline?
I think it's up to Caroline if we pray or not.
Do you want me to pray?
You have something against it?
Not if you don't.
Terrific. Caroline, why don't you come around here?
He moves the chairs so they can all stand in a circle. Caroline and Cliff, still eyeing each other, move in.
Cliff, I'll put my hand on Caroline.
He puts his hand on Caroline's shoulder, facing her, and Cliff gets behind the pastor and puts his hand on his shoulder. In other words, Cliff knows exactly what to do. The two men bow their heads, and Caroline follows.
Lord Jesus, we need you to look upon all of us here this morning, but especially our new friend Caroline. Lord, Caroline has endured too much pain in this world, pain she didn't ask for, pain she definitely didn't deserve. She was born of parents who turned away from you, and in their exile they turned on her, and they did the most terrible thing that parents can do. They made her feel unloved and unwanted. But Caroline is neither of those things, Lord. You know that. I know that. She is a loved and wanted child, a precious child, because she is your child. You brought her into this world, and you love her, and she is perfect in your eyes. You're perfect, Caroline. You know that, don't you? You are beautiful, and you're perfect. Jesus, take control of the throne of Caroline's life. Make her the person you want her to be. Fill her with your love and your spirit, and erase the pain and the unearned shame she carries. Make her whole again, Lord, and bring her peace. Bring her peace. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for dying on the cross for our sins. Thank you for giving us eternal life and eternal love. In Lord Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
How long has it been since you prayed?
A long time.
How did it feel?
I don't know.
That sounds about right. But here's the thing. God cannot love you more than he does this very instant. He'll sneak up on you, and he'll give you his love whether you want it or not. So be prepared. So, where are we with this whole thing with Cindy? Can we forgive her for her past mistakes and move on knowing she only wanted what's best for her family?
I think I should talk it over with Cliff.
I think Caroline knows what's fair and what isn't.
That's all we ask. Caroline, thank you for talking with me today. I so appreciate it. I know how swamped you are, and may you be blessed in your good work.
Okay.
I'll see you both soon. I hope.
Goodbye, Pastor. Thank you. You called her a crazy Christian because she believed in the second coming, not because she didn't love her daughter enough. You're clearly prosecuting this woman. This is it. I'm calling Damonet, and sonority or not, you were out.
You made me pray.
No, I didn't.
You're my supervisor. You pressured me into doing it. I only did it to save my job.
You did it to show up.
And you pressured me into recommending the concurrency plan because Cindy's a Christian and she's a friend of your pastor pal.
You're not my pastor pal.
The bias is yours. It is your pro-Christian bias that you are using against me. This is a hostile workplace.
Because of you.
You asked me what my faith was. So try to fire me. Try to lay me off, or even just take me off the case and I will go to the IWC. And they will file for a workplace discrimination claim, and I won't take arbitration. I'll insist on a full hearing in front of the commission, and it'll be so ugly, even if you win, you're never gonna make it to regional director. This is gonna haunt you, just like that thing with Mimi is haunting me. And you're gonna be stuck here with me forever. You know I'm right. You know how this works.
You're insane.
Like a fox.
That's not even the expression.
He sneaks up on you and gives you his love whether you want it or not. Jesus Christ. God is just like my fucking father.
Scene 5. The visitation room at DHS. It is a sad, harshly lit room with some very tired plastic chairs, toys, and wooden jigsaw puzzles. The dominating feature is the two-way mirror on the upstage wall. Luna is asleep in a stroller. We can't see her. Cindy sits with the baby. She's rocking the stroller back and forth and humming tunelessly. Peter enters in his work clothes.
Oh, hey,
Peter. Hello.
am I early or something?
Where's Carly?
She couldn't come. Somebody called in sick and her boss said if she left, she'd get fired. He's sick for missing work for all this. Where's Miss Cox?
She had an emergency phone call. Her supervisor said I could wait with Luna. I need to talk to Carly.
She doesn't want to talk to you.
Tell her she has to stop all this. They're going to make me go to this counselor and lie. They don't care what the real story is. Pastor Jay even talked to them and they wouldn't even listen to him. Our lawyer says maybe we can sue, but the court date is next Wednesday.
Wednesday? I know, because I'll be there. Because she's my daughter, actually. Can I sit with her, please? This is supposed to be my time with her.
She's asleep.
I'm not gonna wake her up.
Cindy moves. Peter takes her place and rocks the stroller. He starts humming the Oklahoma Sooners fight song.
Why does Carly hate me, Peter?
Why do you hate her?
I don't hate her. She hates me. This thing she said happened didn't happen.
It did, actually.
But she never told me anything about Martin doing anything. If she told me, then I must not have heard it. Or maybe I was somewhere where there was a loud noise in the kitchen or something, or she dreamed she told me, but she didn't tell me.
You still knew. You knew all sorts of shit. You knew like how Martin was always commenting on Carly's clothes and telling her how to wear her hair and telling her how developed she was.
We both wanted to keep her hair long.
You were his fourth wife. You knew.
I didn't.
You knew right after it happened.
After what happened?
It was in May, and you were at church, and it was after services, and Martin was driving Carly home, and you were saying to do something with a butterfly garden that somebody donated.
A butterfly garden.
That somebody donated for some lady who died and her brother carved a rock or something.
Jenny McManus's memorial garden.
You were putting in a rock.
Her brother made a memorial stone carving. He carves things in stone with a laser. What does this have to do with anything?
And Martin said he'd drive Carly home, and you were getting a ride with somebody else.
I don't know about that.
And he drove Carly. He said, let's don't go straight home. Let's just drive out to Mount Vernon, because it was a warm day, and he drove her out to some farm road he knew that he said was a shortcut to Mount Vernon, and it cut across a cornfield, and then it turned, went down into a hill into some woods where there was a stream.
This is a long story.
I just heard it, so the details are fresh, okay?
But why are you telling it?
To show you why you should have known. Isn't that what you wanted to know? It went down into these woods, and then it dead ended. Nobody could see them. It was like 2 miles down there, and Carly was laughing at Martin because she thought he was lost, because it was a dead end road. He turned off the engine and he said, don't laugh at me. I don't want you to laugh at me anymore. And he unbuckled his pants and pulled them down and pulled down his underwear too, because he wore briefs, right? Not boxers. He did. And Carly said it was so weird. She thought he maybe just needed to take a piss or something. But before she could figure it out, he basically shoved himself over and pulled her onto his lap. She was wearing a skirt you bought her at Marshall's. And he pushed it up and yanked down her panties. And then he put his hand on her back and pushed her into the windshield. Pushed her up with one hand so he could jam his dick in her from behind, and he did. He started fucking her as hard as he could. And Carly put her hands on the windshield, but her forehead kept on hitting the glass anyway. Carly said for like weeks after that, whenever she got in the car, she could see her handprints on the inside of the windshield. And she was a virgin. And there was bleeding. She bled all the way home. And when they got home, you were already there. And you were in the kitchen when they came inside, and you didn't ask where they'd been or what took them so long. You saw them come in, and you saw whatever you saw on their faces, and you didn't say a word, and they didn't say a word. And you watched Carly walk through the kitchen and down the hall. When she got to her room, she took off her clothes, and she had bled through her panties. And there was a blood stain on the back of her skirt. Her skirt was yellow, and there was a huge honking red on the back.
He didn't tell me.
Did she really need to tell you?
What is that song?
It's the Sooners fight song.
What?
Oklahoma Sooners. I don't know why she likes it.
This is Iowa.
I don't know the Iowa fight song.
It was lonely.
What?
I'm lonely. You don't know yet how lonely you can get.
Is Cliff here? What are you doing here?
She admitted it to him. She never told me.
Are you in there?
Did you find Loris?
She wasn't in the emergency room. She was outside in a car. Her sister's boyfriend's car. He drove her there and left her outside in the car.
Is she dead?
She overdosed.
She's dead.
Yes. She's dead.
Did you call Miss Rosario?
No.
Do that then.
Caroline stares at him for a moment, then pushes past him, exiting. Cliff looks at Peter and Cindy.
You heard what he said. She never told me.
Scene 6. The break room at the courthouse. Early morning. Carly and Peter, dressed very respectably, are waiting for Caroline. They are drinking vending machine coffee.
I seriously think we have a chance. I seriously think we could go home with Luna today.
You'll jinx it if you say it.
You know, since we're in the courthouse, why don't we see about getting a marriage license? Like, after we talk to the judge, I think we should totally do that.
You want to get married?
I know the institution is meaningless and we said we'd never do it, but I kind of feel like we should, since we're getting Luna back.
Don't say it or you'll jinx it.
I have a good feeling though.
It's not real.
Not if you don't want to believe it's real. Hey, we're ready.
I need to talk to Carly alone. Why don't you wait upstairs?
What is it?
Go upstairs, and if you see Gina, tell her to wait for me outside the courtroom.
We were thinking we'd get married.
What?
Since we're in the courthouse.
Peter, this is not.
Just go.
I'll wait for you upstairs, okay?
When did you do it? It's on your results.
After we saw you at the restaurant, that girl who I got a bump from the first time, she still works there. Duh.
Does Peter know?
He doesn't know, no. but he knows something's up. He always knows.
He loves you.
Too much, you know? He only did meth because he saw how good it made me feel, and he knew if he didn't feel as good as I did, I'd leave him.
That makes no sense.
It does, though. Have you ever smoked it?
No?
It's like an orgasm that lasts for 3 days.
That sounds exhausting.
No, it's not the actual orgasm. It's the feeling that you have right after. Like you are so entirely peaceful and down with everything on the planet. Like every bit of you. You're so, like, all your self-doubt disappears because it doesn't even make any sense anymore that you would doubt anything you do, because why would you? Because you're perfect. You can do no wrong.
I'm sorry.
Don't be. I'm fucked up right now.
I know. So, since your urinalysis was positive and your mother refuses to get treatment,
Does?
yes,
So you were right. You knew she wouldn't.
yeah,
You were right about my stepdad, too. Did you know that?
I didn't know, no.
But you guessed.
I had a gut feeling
Because I just exude, like, victimhood.
because I've seen it before 1,000,000 times.
And here I thought I was special.
So, since your mom's no longer an option, we have to place Luna in foster care until we figure it out. Either if we can get you into rehab, would you go?
Sure.
If you can stay sober for a year, you can petition for her back. There's no reason to come upstairs. Why don't you wait down here?
What about Peter?
Peter's not an option as long as he's living with you.
What?
Peter can't have custody of Luna as long as he's living with you.
I only meant who was gonna tell him the bad news.
Oh, me. I'll tell him.
Thank you.
It's the least I can do.
It is.
Caroline exits. Carly gets up, throws away hers and Peter's coffee cups. She goes back to the table. She looks at her wrist, but she doesn't have a watch. She picks up a napkin. Then she searches in her bag for a pen. Eventually, she finds one. She tries to write a note on the napkin, but the pen isn't working and the napkin keeps tearing. She scribbles on the napkin, trying to get it work. It doesn't.
But fucking.
She gets up and throws the pen and the napkin in the trash. She exits in the opposite direction from Caroline and Peter. Scene 7. A month later, the viewing room of the visiting room. On the other side of the two-way mirror, it is a cramped, narrow space. There is just enough room for a few mismatched chairs. The only light comes from the visiting room. Luna is asleep in her stroller in the visiting room. Caroline is in the viewing room, watching Luna's stroller through the glass. She holds a case file, and there is a gift bag on the floor. Cliff enters the visiting room. He looks at the stroller, then looks directly at the mirror, at Caroline. We hear his voice through a speaker.
You in there?
Yeah,
Cliff can't hear her. She knocks on the glass. Cliff exits the visiting room and enters the viewing room.
You don't want to sit with the baby?
I can see her.
Do you not like children?
I love them. That's why I never had them.
When does the memorial start?
Mrs. Del Rosario said we can get there anytime after 4. She's making empanadas. She said lords love them.
What about a dorm room?
I went and cleaned it out.
You did?
She'd stopped going to classes her 3rd or 4th week, I guess. She was just pretending to go. Her roommate was completely clueless.
Never heard from her sister?
Why should we?
George was an adult.
You know,
There wasn't anything else you could have done.
are you trying to make me feel better?
So my big news is I'm leaving DHS.
You are?
Pastor Jay and some of his colleagues have decided to start a children's services consulting firm.
What in God's name is that?
Couples interested in becoming foster parents and for foster parents who are considering adoption
Oh,
to help people navigate the system more effectively.
to help the Christians get all the little poor children. Smart.
I'm not going to argue with you or take exception to the fact that you openly mock my deepest belief,
Okay,
because once I leave, I'm hoping I'll never see you again.
fair enough.
And also, in your own insane way, it turns out that you were right about.
Luna Gale, minor child.
They're going to appoint an interim director until they can hire someone new in January. They've asked me for a recommendation.
You recommended me?
You can't have that job for good reason. So I recommend they promote you to district coordinator.
District coordinator.
I told them you were suffering from extreme burnout, but you still have a wealth of expertise and experience that they can use, and you should be a district coordinator.
But that's nothing but budgets.
Administration. You wouldn't have any more cases. You'd just
Go to meetings.
go to meetings, write reports, kick back until your retirement.
I wouldn't have any more cases.
You wouldn't be responsible for any more children. No. You can thank me later.
I could thank you now.
I assume we're taking separate cars to Lord's memorial service,
You assume correctly, yes.
and I'll see you there.
Caroline gets up, takes the file and the gift bag, and leaves the viewing room and enters the visiting room. He walks over to Luna and looks into the stroller. We hear the following over the speaker.
Hey, sleepy. Look at you. Who do you belong to? Who do you belong to, huh? Hey,
Hey,
where's your dad?
oh, he dropped me off and ran back over to Target. We realized the diapers I had are probably too small.
I got you a starter kit. It's got diapers, formula.
We got all that, except the diapers I had are probably from 4 to 6.
Take it anyway. It's the least we can do.
You know, I don't want to. No offense, but it's got all that welfare smell.
I understand. There's forms.
Of course.
This is yours to keep. This is the number for the DHS in La Crosse. Your caseworker's direct landline is here. You need to call her by Tuesday.
Okay.
This is the change of jurisdiction form. Sign that and give it to me, and then keep the copy for yourself.
So, is somebody in La Crosse expecting me, like, to know my whole story and stuff?
I faxed over your file.
I want to know if Carly comes back. Is there some plan for how to?
She'd have to petition for custody in Wisconsin and go through their system if she comes back. I assume you've been calling her.
Her phone's disconnected. I was thinking, I hope she calls me first and doesn't just go to our apartment, because then she'll think I just left if she comes back.
I'm sorry you can't stay here, but the judge isn't going to give you custody on your own. Your dad has to be the primary guardian, and he's got a good job. You can't ask him to move.
I know.
And you get to be with your daughter, which is what I think Carly had in mind. You know, you never know what's going to happen.
I don't need any words of wisdom, okay? She left, is all.
I thought I might throw away your file.
What?
My old boss did that. She threw some files away and the kids just disappeared from the system. And I thought maybe that wouldn't be the worst thing I could do for you.
throw away my file if you want.
But it's not like you just leave the system and you go off to Candyland and you play in the sand with unicorns. Sometimes you're okay, but other times you die from general neglect and disregard. So I don't know what to do. I don't know how to save anybody, in short.
Nope.
So I wanted to give Luna this present, if you don't mind.
She hands him the gift bag. He pulls out a teddy bear, the same as the one Caroline gave to Lords. It's white with a red satin heart.
Gosh.
I know, it's hideous. We usually give them out to kids when they age out of the foster care system, but that's not going very well. So I thought, what if we mixed it up? What if instead of a perfunctory, meaningless gesture of hope at the end of a story, we tried...
Perfunctory, meaningless gesture at the beginning?
What if I said to Luna, I believe you're going to be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and give you this now.
Dude, you just said like everybody dies. I mean, how can you say she's going to be okay?
Because I believe in you. Because I believe you're a very, very good person.
If you say so.
I do. Can I put this in here?
My dad's gonna call when he gets here.
I understand. I have to go anyway. Drive safe, okay?
Okay.
Take care.
Caroline exits. Luna makes a fussy noise. Peter goes to her and rocks her stroller. He begins to hum the Oklahoma Sooners fight song. Then he begins to make up words to go along with the tune.
Luna Boona, Luna Boona, Luna Boona, Luna Boona.
Then
You're my Luna, my little Luna. And I love you.
and that is Luna Gale by Rebecca Gilman. Thank you guys so much for coming and viewing. We really do appreciate it. I want to give a shout out to my cast. So I will say their names and introduce them as they go. So playing Pastor J is our wonderful Ethan Resco. Thank you so much, Ethan Resco, for Pastor J. Our wonderful Lords was played by Nia Reese. Thank you so much by Nia. Thank you. We love you. The next is Cliff, played by our own Harry Sheesby. Thank you so much, Harry Sheesby, for that. Thank you. Cindy, played by the wonderful Ash Blackwood. We loved seeing her. Thank you so much for that. We love that. Thank you, Ash. Carly, played by Natalie Rayner. We love you. Thank you so much, Natalie. So well done. The wonderful Peter, played by Vicky Modi. Thank you so much, Vicky. What a wonderful, wonderful performance. Thank you. And last but not least, of course, Daisy May Kelly as Caroline. Thank you so much, Daisy, for all your hard work. We really do appreciate it. Love y'all. Great. Thanks so much, everyone, for coming and joining us. I really hope you liked it. And if you want to talk more about the play, please, hey, just give me a text. I'd love to talk about it. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful evening and donate to some wonderful charities that the Grad Fringe is supporting: Black Lives Matter and Industry Thoughts. Industry Minds. I keep doing that. Industry Minds. Go ahead and support them. Anyways, have a wonderful evening. See you all later.